Good evening, Guardians. TBL here with something a little bit different for you guys. It's been a little bit over a week since Hotfix 2.5.0.2 went into effect and really changed the way the Crucible has felt for a lot of people, and in that time we've all had a chance to play with a bunch of different weapons and sort of get a feel for how they work now. And one of the guns I was most excited to work with was of course the Hawkmoon, the exotic hand cannon. I was really excited for how these changes would overall affect it, and I've been playing a lot with it since the patch went live, and I just wanted to take some time to share my thoughts on how the Hawkmoon feels right now and where exactly it fits in the emerging meta. Now this is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be a little bit more freeform. This isn't exactly a review. I'm just playing around a bit with the Hawkmoon right now and giving you guys sort of my first impressions for how this weapon is working right now in the Crucible. Sevi? So let's go ahead and dive on in. Now the Hawkmoon in particular didn't really get any buffs or direct nerfs with Hotfix 2.5.0.2, but it did get affected by the overall change to hand cannons, the increase to initial first shot accuracy, basically bringing that back to year 1 levels, and also the base reduction of range for hand cannons by about 5. But that change to initial accuracy has really had, in my opinion, a noticeable effect on it. And overall, it feels good. It feels a lot snappier, a lot more consistent than it has in a very, very long time. Let's talk a few numbers here. Now, of course, the time to kill for Hawkmoon hasn't actually changed. It's still got an optimal time to kill of about 0.87 seconds, which you can achieve with 1 crit shot and 2 body shots within its optimal range. And of course, the problem with the Hawkmoon before was that, after its stability and especially the range nerfs that it suffered, it very much fell victim to that whole super prevalent not palindrome, not Iasaluna-itis, where it could still basically function as a hand cannon, but dealt less damage further out and was way more susceptible to bloom than either of those two hand cannons are. Essentially, it lost a lot of consistency back in the day, and that seems to have returned in some way, shape, or form with the current hotfix. This gun definitely feels a lot snappier than it has in a long time. And now, because of the way range has been reworked and especially the change to initial accuracy, you'll find that Hawkmoon is really consistent and it can actually perform almost on par with certain roles of both the Iasaluna and the palindrome. At least based on numbers right now. Hand cannons are in a pretty interesting spot. Damage fall off for the Hawkmoon is now going to start at about 27 meters out, which is great because it virtually matches the max damage range of both the palindrome and the Iasaluna when they're rocking rifle barrel but no rangefinder. Both a palindrome and an Iasaluna with rifle barrel only will hit that 62 range stat, but damage fall off for them will start at 27 meters. So it's really nice to see that the Hawkmoon can compete there, given that it's only really got a max range stat of about 47 when using accurized ballistics, unless that actually got reduced with the current patch. Not too sure about that, but I do know that within range, this thing works really, really well now. Essentially acting like its year 1 version, minus the legendary triple damage proc. But it stands up really well in close and mid-range against most of the other primary weapons out there. And of course, getting those bonus damage procs can make things a little bit easier. Getting 3 of those lucky shots between luck in the chamber and holding aces can lead to some pretty interesting scenarios. You are, of course, within close to mid-range, capable of 2-tapping with the Hawkmoon, which I've noticed happening, I won't say fairly often, but enough times for me to be like, wow, that's pretty cool. And really, though it's a little bit embarrassing to say, the lucky shots seem to provide the service of sort of being a backup. Maybe if you miss one of those all too important headshots, the bonus damage can kind of serve as a backup oops button, allowing you to still clean up a kill with a suboptimal body shot. It's not something to put your faith in, but it happens enough to really give this gun that sort of niche of being a really, really powerful weapon up close. Which is good because it needs to be when going up against stuff like the Last Word or the Wormwood, which you've probably been seeing a lot of in Crucible right now. So yeah, the lucky shots definitely have a purpose and can really sort of give you the edge up close or sort of level the playing ground against some of the other better primaries out there like the palindrome. But it's not all sunshine. Bloom is definitely still a thing, and I definitely still feel it. It's got less of an effect, but you really do have to pace your shots with Hawkmoon. Every now and again when you get surprised by somebody up close, you can kind of get into those panicky situations where you just start spamming the trigger, and shots just won't go sometimes where you aim them. And you'll notice that not just up close, but at range too. Remember, this gun does have less range than the other meta hand cannons like Palindrome, Iasluna, Finalis, Peril. And you'll definitely feel it when you start getting into some of those long-range encounters where suddenly, those 88 damage precision shots are dropping down to the 50s and below. And again, while the change to initial accuracy is great, Hawkmoon within its range definitely feels kind of like its year 1 version. Outside of that range, you're really hurting. Going up against a rangefinder rifle barrel Palindrome is kind of a rough task. Max optimal damage range on a rifle barrel rangefinder Palindrome is like 30 meters. And in a 1v1 situation, those legendary hand cannons are absolutely better than Hawkmoon. At least in most situations, and if we aren't, counting on the lucky damage shots to proc. They're more accurate and they can hit you harder from further out than you can really hope to deal max damage at. And you gotta remember that damage fall off rate is pretty steep now, where suddenly, rather than, being a 3-shot kill, Hawkmoon becomes a 4-shot kill, while the Palindrome and the Iasluna are still 3-shot kills, so they just have a distinct advantage there. So ultimately, if you were to ask me which is better, Hawkmoon or the legendary hand cannons, I would absolutely say those optimally rolled legendary hand cannons. They're just going to be a better, more consistent experience. But Hawkmoon within the range that you're meant to use it, again, that around that 27 meter range, Hawkmoon is a really good performer now. It's a lot better now than it has been in a very, very long time. I feel like it's still going to be kept in check by the top tier guns, but now between its consistency and the bonus damage, it definitely does feel really good. I still need to play around with it some more to get a full definitive review out, but you whip this bad boy out on Thieves' Den, you're gonna have yourself a pretty darn good time. But alright Guardians, that's pretty much it for my initial thoughts on Hawkmoon post Hotfix 2.5.0.2. It's good, take it out, give it a try. It's definitely going to be one of my favorite primaries for some time to come. But alright, thanks so much for watching Guardians, be sure to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. As always, I am TheBlackLink. You guys stay frosty.